much pleasure to introduce our journey today in the White Stone ceremony with Reverend Valentine Owen.
Thank you. And those of you who don't have a stone or a pencil, please come up and get one so that we can have that. And you can hold that so it'll develop and have your energy in it. I think there's a couple of you that don't have a stone, so please just come up and get one. So good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. And it's just wonderful to see you and know that this is truly a new year for all of us. And every new year has some wonderful ideas and challenges and things that happen in that new year that we can grow in consciousness. So also today is another Christmas. It's Christmas for all the Orthodox Christians. And my mother was one of those kind of Christians. Her belief was in the Orthodox religion. And so that is always on January the 7th. So when we grew up, I have a brother and a sister and myself, we would have 2 Christmases. We'd have the English Christmas, which is most of the Christmas that you celebrate, and we'd have our Russian, Ukrainian type of Christmas. So we got gifts on both Christmases. So we were considered very lucky because actually our better gifts came on the Ukrainian Christmas because we also got gifts sent to us from the old country. And I felt that having 2 Christmases was really quite exciting until I got married and realized that a lot of the people that I knew only had 1 Christmas. So I felt very lucky because of that. And that's why when I say I wish you a very happy and blessed New Year, I would like you to realize that in our customs, Christmas is gone. Your last year is gone. So now you are celebrating a new year. So you have a new energy to celebrate. And that's why I wanted to do the White Stone ceremony. This ceremony helps us shift our thinking about the power of welcoming this new year and the spiritual perspective that we may have. It's an invitation to listen to that spiritual guide that we have inside of ourselves and to have a higher expression of our own divinity. Through this ceremony, you can release the thoughts, the feelings, the events or the habits or the beliefs that you have, and you can even release some of the people that have harmed you in your past. So today, I'd like to honor what has been and welcome to the new things. Give thanks for what has ended in your life and say goodbye to those things that were hurtful or the challenges in your life and have that experience released from you. So you see, our soul's journey is not meant to be weighed down by the things that we carry that were negative in our life, those negative emotions that we had attached to ourselves. Instead, we are here to love and be loved. We are here to learn a higher awareness of who we really could be. We're here to serve humanity, to serve our friends, our neighbors, and we're here to grow in consciousness. That's why this ceremony can help us release some of our negative choices that we've made in the past. There is a saying that in order to get where you are going, you have to leave the place where you are. Can somebody get me a glass of water, please? So when you have to leave the place where you are, this speaks to our willingness to release what needs to be released so that we can have a life that we desire. See, we all have perceptions and behaviors that limit our goodness. Often we cling to what is, even when we don't really want that in our life. We stay in places that are no longer good for us. We stay in relationships that may not be healthy. We keep possessions that we no longer use because we don't seem to want to let go of them. And the list goes on and on of the things that we do, the things that we keep, and the things that aren't necessary in our life anymore. Thank you. True change, true transformation, a change in consciousness requires us to become a new version of ourselves. This means letting go of the thoughts, the feelings, some of the memories, some of our staunch beliefs, and some of the limited thinking that no longer serves us. You see, we are never bound by our past. We are bound by our perception of our past, the way we think of our past, the reasons we decide that the past was such and such. See, those are the things that we think that are limited in our mind. Jesus, the master teacher, said, "Behold, I make all things new." So every day that we have is a new day. We can decide that it can be a new day, and we can make it a new day, think different thoughts, or we can drag the past into this new day and make this new day the same as the old day. See, each one of us is capable of being renewed each moment. We are promised that a new thing will be done through us when we create an opening for Spirit to work with us, in us, and through us. That's why it's important to release some of our limiting beliefs and our negative behavior. While researching for today's message, and a lot of times when I'm thinking of something to say during a service, I go look up things. One of the things that I looked up this time was an article by Eric Butterworth. And that article caught my attention. But what really caught my attention was the title of that article. It said, "Raise above your past." Raise above your past. And I think that says it all. Because in order for us to grow in consciousness, we do have to raise above our past. A big part of the white stone ceremony that we're going to do today is letting go of our past, the past that we were attached to, and have something new come into our life. The end of one year and the beginning of a new year is a perfect time to do the white stone ceremony. And when we're doing the white stone ceremony, we're going through a bit of prayer, meditation, and contemplation, so that we can choose to let go of the past that no longer serves us. This way, we can be free from the mistakes and from the past and the consequences of some of those mistakes that we made, the consequences of some of our behavior that we had. You see, it's extremely healthy to release and let go of our negative and limited thinking, because thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. We always say that. So if you want a new experience, we need to create new thoughts that would give us that new experience. And the song you sang at the beginning of this sermon was exactly fitting to that. And I don't know how you do that every Sunday. You come up with words and songs that totally fit the sermon. It's all God. It's all thinking. We all live in that same energy. The truth is, what we think about does come about. So I want to share a story with you. There was a Hindu master that had a very challenging student. The student was very negative and always was complaining about the things that were in his life. He would hold on to things and refuse to let those go, refuse the mistakes that he made or the grievances that he had. And this gave him very much pain in his life. So one day his master decided to give him a realistic lesson in the releasing and letting go of the pain that the student was always carrying. The master told the student to take a glass of water, and that's not why I have the water. And who knows, maybe it is. And put a handful of salt in it. I don't have the salt. And then he said, I want you to drink that water. And the student did that. But he spit it out because it was so bitter. And then the master said, I want us to go to the lake. I want you to take a handful of salt and put it in the lake. The student did that. The master said, now I want you to take a handful of water and drink that water. And the student did that. And the master said, how does the water taste? And the student said, it's good. It's fine. In fact, it's even sweet. And so as it went on, the student thought, what is this lesson that the master is trying to teach me? What is the lesson of putting salt in water and then drinking it? And then the master explained, pain in life is like pure salt. No more, no less. It's always like the salt. The amount of pain in life remains the same. However, the amount of bitter pain we taste in our life depends on the container we put the pain in. So I'm going to read that again. However, the amount of pain we have, that pain is always bitter. It tastes bitter in our life. But it depends on the container we put the pain in. So when we are in pain, the only thing we can do is enlarge our sense of things and change our consciousness. So the only thing we can do is enlarge our sense of things and change our consciousness. This teaching, this science of mind teaching, teaches us how to enlarge our consciousness. We have a greater understanding of these life principles. This teaching helps us to increase our capacity for everything that's in our life, so that we can move through life with greater wisdom, greater grace, and greater ease. That's the essence of this ceremony that I would like to do today, so that we can enlarge and expand our consciousness, so that we can move through the changes that we desire in our life, or the challenges that life brings to us unexpectedly. You see, this white stone ceremony is talked about in the Bible. It's talked in Revelations chapter 2, verse 17, if you want to read it. But the Bible is usually not read word for word, because the words in the Bible often have deeper meanings than the word that we just read. We have to have a broader understanding of the things that are in the Bible, things that are written. Because you have to remember, it was written so long ago that history was very, very different. And the culture of the people was very different. Most of the Bible is interpreted metaphysically and mysterially. For it to have sense and meaning for us, we need to go into a deeper level of understanding. I'd like to read the passage to you that refers to this ceremony and transformation of consciousness. It says, "He who has ears, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcomes, I will give him the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone. And on that stone a new name is written, which no man knows except he who receives it." So now I want to just go back and just talk about some of the things that are metaphysically different than what the words mean. The word church translates into our consciousness, the state in which we dwell. So spirit talks to our consciousness. That's what spirit talks to. The word manna refers to the food source, the nourishment of our soul, not the food source for our body, the food that we eat, but the food source that the Spirit nurtures our soul with. This gives us a new source of energy and a new understanding that nurtures us and nourishes us. And in reference to the white stone, it represents a clean slate. We are given a clean slate that takes us out of bondage to our ways, our old ways of thinking. It gives us a fresh start. And the word name refers to our nature. In the Bible, people's names were even changed because their nature changed. And when a child was born, people would kind of consider, what is the nature of this child? And that's the name that they were given. So name refers to our nature. So this passage refers to the inner work in consciousness that we would like to do. You see, that there is a nature or a quality that we are to practice to improve our life. We are to practice that nature that we have, and that we can take that nature into this new year. And that nature that we can practice will be a profound difference in our life. So how do we get to do things better in our life? The truth is, we just have to practice. So what is that new nature that you would have to practice? And I'd like to have you experience that and find out what that nature is when we do this ceremony. So when we do the ceremony, I will guide you through a meditation. And hopefully, when you're in that meditation, a word will be revealed to you that can embrace as part of your true essence, the part of your nature that is something that you can embrace this year and grow in that area. You see, the white stone is an ancient ritual. Back in Roman times, when someone served in prison or in bondage of any kind, when they were released, they were given a white stone to indicate that they were free. Each of us in our life comes from some kind of bondage or limitation, or some kind of limit that we put on ourselves, or a quality that we have in life that we choose to carry that and it doesn't serve us. Today, I'd like to do that white stone ceremony to signify our freedom. So like I said in Revelations, when John talks about the people given a new name, he's referring to us being given a new nature. And when he writes, let anyone who has an ear to listen to what the Spirit is saying to the churches, he means what the Spirit is saying to our consciousness. See, the year is not referring to our human outer year, but to the year of our soul that is within us. This refers to the ear that hears, because we truly can hear that small, still voice that always whispers to us. And some of us call that intuition. And some of us call that just a different kind of awareness. Or some of us say that we can even read the energy of a room or the energy of a person when we first meet them. So you see, we need to get out of our head, get out of our intellect, and instead connect with our heart. The verse tells us to listen, to develop a year for the soul speaking to us. You see, that's part of us that knows. So to sit in silence and listen to the Spirit. So I want to begin this journey of releasing the old so something new can come into your life. So I would like you, if you can, to close your eyes and go into a visualization. And if you still don't have a stone, please come up and get a stone. So take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, I would like you to think in your mind and go over the previous year. What were some of the challenges that you had, or some of the limitations that you had? What attitudes or behaviors diminished the quality of your life? As you think of these things, picture yourself sitting by the ocean on a rock, just at the edge of the shore. And as the waves of the ocean come in and go back out into the ocean, see them come in and gently wash against your feet. With each coming wave, decide to release an attitude, a behavior, or a feeling that diminished the quality of your life last year. It could have been that you had too much judgment in your life about different things. It could have been about the anger that you carried and wrecked some of your relationships because you got into anger, or the resentment that you had toward another, or the idea of lack that you carried in your life, or any other attitude that you had. Any attitude, idea, or belief that you had, what is it that you could release that would improve the quality of your life? Just sit there by the ocean and allow the water to wash away any negative thoughts or behaviors that truly hindered you. Just decide that last year is over and you are willing to grow in consciousness and release and let go of what was. What was in your life that wasn't for your highest good. Take a moment to thank. Thank yourself for having an open mind and an open heart and deciding that you truly could go into a different consciousness, that you could really grow in consciousness. So take a moment and release whatever it is that you need to release. So just still keep your eyes closed, and you now have a stone. So take that stone and hold it in your hand. Let that stone be a symbol for a new idea, a new life, a new quality that you're willing to embrace. See it as a symbol of who you can become, or who you are willing to become, or who you would like to become. Feel the presence of the divine and know that you are one with this divine presence. Feel that loving presence that is in you, that surrounds you and supports you always. Know that in this very room, you are safe, you are secure, you are loved. Know that you are free to live more fully, releasing yourself from the bondage that you had and those limiting thoughts that you have about yourself or anyone else. This white stone symbolizes a clean slate. Every moment is an opportunity for us to begin anew with a clean slate. Turning within for guidance, to have change in your mind, and have a desire that you want to grow. In this sacred space, put aside any hesitation or uncertainty. Ask for clarity and loving guidance. Just listen in the silence and trust the answers that you receive. Be grateful for the beginning of a new year and the opportunity for a clean slate on which you can design your new nature. Ask yourself, what is the one word that will inspire me, will help me stay focused and move into more action? What word would I like for me in my new life and in my new year? So think of one or two words that describe the highest spiritual essence of you, that nature that you have inside of you that you want to release, that you would want more of this coming year. So would it be happiness? Would it be compassion? Trust? Joy? Wisdom? Could it be courage? Maybe forgiveness. Or maybe you feel that this year you could become a compassionate healer. Or even adventure seeker. Whatever your word is, just let it be your word. Just allow that word or words to surface from the depths of your soul. Just remain open to whatever comes to you through your inner awareness and from your higher self. So just stay in silence for a moment and let that word come to you. So when you're ready, you may open your eyes and write the name or the word or the quality on that white stone. Reflect on the word that comes to you because it is a very significant quality. So keep that. Know that this word can mean something very important for the rest of this year. So when you go home, place that stone in some location that you can see it very often. When I did this ceremony, I keep that stone in my bathroom. That's the first place I go when I wake up. So I always see it in the morning. See, along with this word comes the power and the guidance to achieve that desire that you have to grow in this consciousness for this year. So as you see it, decide it and accept it. So I invite you to accept this consciousness that will increase your good for this year. This is a nature that you have. It's in you. You've always had it. But maybe you haven't explored the meaning and the significance of it. You can experience profound improvement in every area of your life if you truly embrace this word. You see, you are every bit as divine as you are human. Know your gifts are many, and your power is greater than you really realize. May this be the year you take this truth into your heart and live boldly as a spiritual being, as that spiritual being that you really are. And like the Hindu master said, may you expand your consciousness and the container in which you put your life into. So, may this be so, may it be, and it is. Amen.